So when you eventually started to break away from Zionism yourself, what was the reaction of your surrounding, and was it also maybe one of the reasons why you eventually chose to leave the state of Israel with your family?
No, that had nothing to do with that. I never thought I left. I thought I left for a little bit and I was going to go back. And I've tried to go back since several times. Um, well, so at one point, actually, I remember that point very well. I mean, I was just as, strong a believer in the two-state solution and that was really the only solution and so on until about 2005. In December of 2005, I embarked on a trip into the West Bank to meet with activists in the small town of Bil'ain. I've probably heard of Bil'ain. And in 2005, there were, they created the popular resistance for nonviolent, demonstrations, and they embarked on these demonstrations every Friday. So I went to meet these activists. At the time, they were young. Now all of us have gray hair, of course, and they've suffered a great deal. Many of them were killed. They've been in prison. Now their children are in prison. But I went to meet them, and I drove into the West Bank for the first time in my life by myself with an Israeli car with Israeli license plates. And I described this in the book as, I thought that was going to be my last day of Earth because obviously I'm identifiable as an Israeli. So everybody around, once you enter the West Bank, once you enter like the hinterland, if you will, of Palestine, of that part of Palestine, everybody is a Palestinian. So of course, they're going to kill me because that's what it is. That's what they do. So and then there was no wall at the time, and I remember meeting these activists who today are well known, Yad Burnat and Mohammed Khatib and some of these others from Bil'ain, and we walked across from Bil'ain into the city that was built on their land called Modain Elite. Mm-hmm. And you can see the construction was starting for a while, but there was no wall and it wasn't even a fence, so we could just walk straight across. And I was looking at this massive city that was built. Massive city that was just built, billions and billions of dollars. And then I realized it's not the only one. There are cities like this across the entire West Bank. The entire notion of a two-state solution is an absolute lie. I saw it visually, and it dawned on me, this is all a farce. They've been lying the whole time. There's no intention. There's no chance. There's the whole rhetoric, the whole conversation about two-state solution is an absolute lie. And then I came back to the US and I wrote an article that I titled The Answers Have Changed, which is based on a story about Einstein. He was giving the same test. He was giving a test to his students, and his assistant said, "You already gave them this test." And he said, "Well, the answers have changed." Well, the answers, I believe, for how we resolve the question of Palestine has changed. The two-state solution is not the answer. A single democracy with equal rights, with the right of return, reparations, and so on is the only way forward if we want to see peace between the people who live, in historic Palestine. So that was really that was the culmination of a lot of things, but that was the moment.
How did your surroundings? How did they react to you breaking away from Zionism when they eventually understood that you were not a part of this ideology anymore?
Probably the most common phrase was that I crossed the line. Mm-hmm. I crossed the line. I took it too far. I went too far. Mm-hmm. In a way, I did cross the line. I saw the other side, and I realized that obviously it doesn't take one instance, but one instance kind of becomes the moment when things really, really change. And so to me, that was that moment. And I did cross the line, and I'm very happy that I crossed the line. I think it's important that's a line that you need to cross. Everybody needs to cross.